This is Mr. N. J. Das, Assistant Professor, Department of H&S, Annamacharya Institute of Technology and Sciences, Tirupati. In this class, I would like to discuss about the concept in semiconductors. In last class, I discussed already what is semiconductor and what is the phenomena of semiconductor and what is the properties of semiconductors, all these things. Now you go for what is the band gaps of semiconductors. See, generally band gaps of semiconductor is two types. One is direct band gap semiconductors, another one is indirect band gaps of semiconductors. So first of all, see the direct band gap semiconductors. The semiconductor in which the minimum of conduction band lies directly above the maximum of the valency band of EK. See, this is we can observe this is the conduction band and this is the valence band. This is the energy level. So see, the energy levels are directly lie with one another. So this type of band gap we can say direct band gap. This is the conduction band and this is the valency band. What we can observe here in the valency band, there are holes. But what about this one conduction band? We can have electrons while coming down from conduction band to valency band, the energy is released. See, this is the energy, photon emission we can observe. So this is used for a laser also. So simply what we can understand, the direct band gap of semiconductor, it is generally our germanium, silicon, some other. You see, in the direct band gap semiconductors such as gallium arsenide, some other important components, when excited to electron fall back into the valency band, that is very big, from the valencies, from conduction band to valency band, while come back, the electrons and holes recombine and to produce light energy. This is you get the formula is, that is electron plus holes, that is energy, photon energy. This process of radiative recombination is called spontaneous emission. Spontaneous emission. And now see another one. This direct band gap semiconductor is used to make LEDs. Already I said for laser application. LED means this is some light facilities are this, and lasers also used. The second one is direct band gap semiconductors. Sorry, indirect band gap semiconductors. See the indirect band gap semiconductors. See the diagram itself. This is your valency band and this conduction band, but the position of the conduction band is not exactly lie with the position of your valency band, but it is shifted a small distance shifted. So the minimum position of conduction band cannot exactly lie with the your valency band. Therefore, this type of band gaps we can say indirect band gaps. See, indirect band gap semiconductors. The semiconductor in which minimum of conduction band does not lie directly above the maximum of valency band in the EK space diagram as shown in figure. This type of indirect band gaps we can say. These are the indirect band gaps. See, this is the energy level, this is the K. If you see this is the maximum level of valency band. This is the minimum level of conduction band, but not exactly. You can in the direct band gap you can see how it is. This is the direct band gap. The energy levels are same to the maximum position of valency band directly lie with minimum position of conduction band. But in the case of indirect band gap, we can't see. This is somewhat shift. So this type of semiconductors we can say indirect band gap semiconductor. Okay. But what is the indirect band gap semiconductors? In an indirect gap semiconductor such as silicon, germanium, and GAP. These are the examples for indirect band gap semiconductors. Okay, and then you go for next one. The equation is also given energy per holes and gives the phonon. This process is known as a non-radiative recombination. What is a radiative? You know what is non-radiative means? Radiative means non-radiative, it is not visible. Okay, now then intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductor you want to discuss. But in the last class, I cleanly explained about what is intrinsic and what is extrinsic, all these things. You know, last class, that's part one semiconductors. Intrinsic, simply what we can say, pure. Extrinsic, impure. So, and what are the examples are given, and at absolute temperature, how the crystal of germanium or silicon, how it is see, this is already explained, but you have to see once again. And then, and based on the temperature, this is the 0 Kelvin phenomena, and this is the greater than 0 Kelvin phenomena. Then you can find the one hole is created and one of the covalent bond is broken, all these things. Okay, this is last class we can discuss in a detailed way. Now we go for the concept of what we can say in the present semiconductors, direct and indirect band gap are over. And next concept is C, carrier concentration, very very important for external. Of course it is 5 marks or 2 marks, it may be 8 marks. So very very important. In general, the number of charge carriers, that is carrier means what, whether it is electrons or holes in a semiconductor, these are called carriers, charge carriers. Per unit area or unit volume of a semiconductor is called carrier concentration, or in other words we can say density. We know that in the semiconductors, free electrons and holes are charge carriers, so that the charge carrier concentration can be divided into two types. So what is the first one? Number one, electrons carrier concentration. Number one, electron carrier concentration. And number two, holes carrier concentration. What is electrons concentration? You can see now. See the electron carrier concentration. The number of free electron present in a present per unit volume of concentration of a band in a semiconductor is called electrons carrier concentration. That means how many electrons are present in a unit volume. That means how number we can discussing here, how many, that number of electrons present in a volume, that means in a unit volume is called your concentration or your density. Let the number be the electron carrier concentration in the conduction band is given by, where we can find electrons find in conduction band. But what about your valency band? In the valency band you can find only holes, but you are discussing what? Electrons. See, electrons carry concentration. Then if you discuss the electron carry concentration, means you can find the electrons at conduction band only. So that is given number of electrons per unit volume in a conduction band is given by, that is 2 into 2 me star pi kbt by h square of 3 by 2 exponential minus ec minus ef by kbt. What is kb? This is Boltzmann constant. What is T? This is a temperature. And what is this EC? The conduction band energy. And what is this one? Fermi energy level. And what is Planck's constant h square? And what is this? Your me star means you see, where me is called effective mass of electron. Effective mass of electron we can say. And the pi is a constant value, all these things. So then if this phenomenon you can say like NC, that is pseudo constant we can define. If this phenomenon, these parameters are 2me star pi kbt by h square of 3 by 2 is equal to NC, you can say, then what happened to the above equation? N is equal to NC exponential of minus EC minus EF by KB, equation number 1. This is what is it? This is the number of electrons present in a conduction band for unit volume. Okay, clear. So this is one. In the same manner, you have to calculate for holes also. Same manner, same equation. Instead of your effective mass of electron, you can introduce effective mass of holes. Same. So instead of Me, you can use MH. Okay, see. Next one. The hole carrier concentration, the number of holes present per unit volume of a valency band. See, this is very important. What is we can study there? We can calculate the number of electrons in a conduction band. But here you are finding or you are calculating the number of carrier concentration of holes, means in valency band only. So this is the valency band. The semiconductor is called a holes carrier concentration or density. Let P be the holes, where we can say let N be the electrons. So therefore we are concentrated very here. So simple, if you already you can know the electrons, about the electrons, but now you can study about the holes. So let P be the holes carrier concentration in the valency band is given by what we can say, same phenomena. See, instead of we are lost, we can N, but now what we can use P. So the same formula, 2 into 2 mh star. What is your mh star? Is effective mass of holes, where 2 me star is effective mass of electrons. So see, so therefore what this is same as it is, but here what we can say, that is a conductivity here, the Fermi level minus energy of your valency band by Kb. And substituting this phenomena is your NC, because there concentration of what conduction band, your valency band now, instead of this phenomena we can use NV. That means the number of holes in valency band. So therefore you can finally what we can get, P is equal to NV exponential minus of EF Fermi level minus EV energy level of valency band by KBT. So therefore this is the whole concentration in valency band. Now similarly you can go discuss about the carrier concentration in intrinsic semiconductor. In general, you know, semiconductor means extrinsic and intrinsic. Then what is extrinsic? Further it is classified p-type or n-type. But now we are seeing intrinsic means you are pure semiconductor. How this affect in the pure semiconductors? This is very important. You are discussing general phenomena like what is the carrier concentration of electrons in a conduction band? What is the carrier concentration of holes in valency band? It is general phenomena. Now you are going to be specification like your intrinsic. Okay. Now see, we know that at 0 Kelvin, an intrinsic semiconductor, the valency band is completely filled. Valency band is filled. And conduction band is completely empty. No electrons are there at 0 Kelvin. Therefore, we can say at 0 Kelvin, semiconductors are insulators. No free electrons are there. Otherwise, you can say generally no carrier concentrations are there. If carrier concentration is not available, means it's not possible to transmit the power. Therefore, what we can simply say, the Fermi See, this is the at 0 Kelvin. At 0 Kelvin, how the Fermi energy level is there? You know, the upper level is conduction band, the lower level is valency band. The gap is there in the case of semiconductors, that is the energy level gap. Eg is equal to approximately 1.1 electron volts. You know, already said in the case of in the last first part of semiconductor, my class. So the Fermi level is exactly midway between the valency band and conduction band. Okay, you can see now where is the valency band and the conduction band, why it is midway. You can see now. See, this is your Fermi level. See the energy Fermi level. In general, it is mid here. This is mid. This is your energy gap. So in general, in a semiconductor, 1.1 electron volts. But this is your conduction band. This is a valency band. At, you see, at 0 Kelvin, the Fermi level is exactly lies middle for the forbidden gap is shown in figure C. This is your conduction band, that upper level. This is your lower level valency band. In between, the forbidden gap is forbidden. That means there is a energy gap. So what is the energy gap? 1.1 electron volts. At a higher temperature, this level, the Fermi level, the average energy level of the conduction band and valency band is your Fermi level. If you give some temperature, thermal energy, what happens? You can find here, the Fermi level is slightly shifted. See, this is a Fermi level energy. Because this is the higher level energy. At high, this is see the Fermi level is slightly increased with increasing the temperature. Why? Because more than 0 Kelvin, the Fermi level is slightly increased. Okay. So therefore, it is very clear the energy levels are shifted at higher level. Okay. Now already you can discuss about what is carrier concentration in electrons and what is carrier concentration in holes, what is the number or what is the mass we can say. Now, in the case of intrinsic, that means pure semiconductors, how the carrier concentration of electrons and how the carrier concentration of holes we want to be studying. Okay, see the phenomenon. It is very easy. Already you are discussing what is mass effective and what is the mass of an electron, what is the mass effect of holes we can see. As the temperature of intrinsic semiconductor is increased, electrons from the valency band get thermally excited to conduction band. That means more than 0 Kelvin it is excited. These electrons in the conduction band behaves like a free electrons or free particles with the effective mass me star. We are already in our derivation, you can use it. Similarly, in the case of holes created by these electrons in the valency band also behaves like a free particles with effective mass of holes. Mh star is your holes. But what we can say here now, very, very important phenomena, in the case of that is pure semiconductors, the holes and the electrons are equal. The holes, how many electrons are there? The same phenomena, how many, that is same equal numbers of holes also present. That's why in the case of pure semiconductors, we can say the wonderful definition, N is equal to P is equal to Ni. Now, what is Ni? Once again, see, therefore, at any temperature, the number of free electrons, that is electron carrier concentration in the conduction band is equal to the number of holes, the hole concentration in the valency band, that is equal. This is the number of electrons in conduction band is equal to the number of holes in the valency band. That's why we can say Ni. Ni, what is where Ni is called intrinsic carrier concentration. Therefore, what simply you can say, if it is both are equal to, if you product this, then the product of N and P is equal to your Ni square. Equation number 3, you can see. This is what we can say. This is known as law of mass of action. Law of mass of action. Okay. Now, to calculate this one, you go for once again the phenomena. You know already what is N is equal to in the case of electrons on the conduction band. Already explained. This is we finally can get in the case of carrying concentration in the conduction band is equal to this is by pseudo. And similarly for holes also you can calculate that. And now you are multiplying the two Nc and Nv. What is Nc? That means concentration of electrons in conduction band. And Nv is what? Concentration of holes in valency band. If it is both are equal, then N into P is equal to your Ni square. So this is the Nc and this is your Nv. If we get product, then what can we get? By multiplying this one, see, you are multiplying this one, then finally you can get this one. Ni square is equal to Nc into Nv exponential minus of Ec plus Ev by kBt. What is Ec? This is your conduction band energy. What is Ev? Your valency band energy. So by multiplying this, then you can get this one. This is simply what we can say, the intrinsic semiconductor carrying concentration. Intrinsic semiconductor carrying concentration. So therefore see, the total you can, if it is, you want to, this is the energy level. By changing this one, simply your EC minus EV is equal to energy level. That is the difference between the energy of conduction band and as well as valency band, you are easy. The energy gap. So by substituting this value into this, that finally we can get Ni square is equal to Nc into Nv exponential of energy gap by Kb. And to remove this minus value that N, if you want N, that is here we are N square, but if you want N, that means we can get whole power of this one. So this is equation 4 explains about the equation 4 represents the intrinsic carry concentration. Very clear. In a wonderful concentration is given. So what is Ni? You know, Nc into Nv of whole power of exponentially energy gap by kBt. This is Boltzmann constant at temperature is your intrinsic semiconductor. Okay. Now you go for define what is the equation of Fermi level. In generally Fermi level, what you can understand, this is the average energy of the conduction band and as well as valency band. But simply you can say that Ec plus Ev by 2, general awareness. What is the average of? Now you see one by one. The Fermi energy in an intrinsic we are discussing. We will not go for extrinsic. All these things, the concentration and energy also discussed about in the intrinsic only. That means pure semiconductors only. See now, at temperature T kelvins, the electrons concentration N is equal to the whole concentration P, you know, in the case of pure semiconductors. So that is N is equal to P. And then therefore what happens? If N is equal to P, equation 1 becomes equation 2 equal. By equating these two, this is in the case of a concentration of conduction band of electrons, the concentration of holes in valency band, both are equal. In the case of pure semiconductors, that's why we are equating these two. Then if it is equating 2, then what we can get? If it is finally you can get this one. What is this? Is exponential of 2 EF minus EC plus EV by kBt is equal to your NV by NC. This is the average energy level of conduction band and valency band. That is your what the Fermi energy level. Okay, see, by taking log both sides to calculate this, then what happens? By taking log this, finally you can get the values finally if n is equal to nc. You know, in the case of pure semiconductor, n is equal to nc. Therefore, what happens then? The log values becomes 0. The log 1 is becomes 0. You know, therefore, equation 5 becomes Fermi energy level. EF is equal to the concentration of conduction band and the concentration of valence band by 2. This is the average energy level. This is for the equation for Fermi level in the case of pure semiconductor or intrinsic semiconductor. You have very clear about it. Okay. Now, depending on the temperature phenomena, how this Fermi level will change, you want to see. See the wonderful. And already in this class also I can explain. If more than 0 Kelvin, the Fermi level is slightly shifted towards the conduction band. Okay. At 0 Kelvin, what happens? It is lies in between. Okay. Now see, depending upon the Fermi level, the temperature phenomena, the variation of Fermi level with the temperature for intrinsic semiconductor is shown in figure. See, this is the one. In the case of 0 Kelvin, it is in between. Suppose this is the 1 electron volts, then what is the difference? This is 0.5 electron volts. So therefore, this is the Fermi level is very exactly lies between these two. At higher temperature, what we can say? See, this is at higher temperature, more than 0 Kelvin. It is slightly shifted towards the conduction band. So that is the Fermi level. Okay. And now you go for, therefore you go for this another one. You can conduct electrical conductivity in the same semiconductors, the small topic. In this one, drift and diffusion is that two factors are affecting. You are producing current by drift and as well as your diffusion. So what is drift? You can see under the external application of electric field, the electrons and holes are acquired average velocity called drift velocity. This process called drift. So therefore, what is drift means? If you select any semiconductor, if we give external current or external electric field, then what happens? The electrons are moved in a particular direction. Thus, this move, that is a motion of the electrons, we can say drift velocity of electrons. So simple. The drift velocity Vd we can notate here a small. It is directly proportional to the electric field, applied electric field. You can see now where it is. If it is diagram, I can show that. See, simple phenomena. You take any small electrical that is some semiconductor, and if you can give the external electric field, then what you can understand? Simple, the electrons are moved in a particular direction. Otherwise, the electrons are moved in opposite to the current direction. Opposite to the current direction. Okay. And what happens if electrons are moving in opposite to the current direction? The holes are moving in opposite same direction to the current. Otherwise, the opposite to the electron motion. Okay. So this is the equation. The drift velocity of electrons is directly proportional to the applied electric field. And therefore, what is this? Is a, if you remove the directional relations, then Vd is equal to mu E. What is mu? This is your mobility of electron. Where mu is the constant, it is called mobility of electron for the charge carriers. If mu n and mu p are the electron mobility and holes mobility respectively, then what is we can say Vn means the drift of electron, and what is Vp? Drift of holes. So equation 2 and 3 we can define here. Then we know that the current is equal to given. This is not current density, but this is current I. NeAVd. But A is the cross-sectional area of your semiconductor. Vd is the drift velocity of electrons or charge carriers, we can say. N is the number of electrons. But in the case of semiconductor, the total current is the sum of the electron current and holes current. Not only the electrons, current by electrons, But you are in the case of semiconductor, you know the current is responsible by electrons and holes. So therefore you have to add it these two phenomena. Let be the N be the electron concentration and P be the hole concentration. That is equation 2 and 3. If you adding this equation 2 and 3, what we can get? I is equal to E capital A of N mu N plus P mu P. See, this is the current we can say. Now, current density J you want to define. What is the derivation or equation is given current density? J is equal to current I by A, or A is a cross section area. Therefore, current density by electron Jn is equal to these values. What is this value? You can give E, A, N, mu N and capital A. See, separate, we can separating this one. And what is Jp? Jp is equal to, instead of E, you can instead of N you can P, E, A, mu P, E. So this is the two. This Jn related to electrons, current density. Jp related to current density of holes. Okay. Now, I want total current. Then what happens? I want to add it all these things. My J is equal to Jn and Jp. What is Jn? The number of electrons. And what is Jp? By holes. Current density by holes. Current density by electrons. So adding this all these things, what you can get finally? E of N mu N plus P mu P of E. This is your total current density by a semiconductor. And what is the relation between your current density J and the material of conductivity? Whatever the conductive material, it is semiconductors or conductors. So your conductivity sigma is equal to J by E. What is J? The current density, a total current density. In other words, you want to very clear total current density. And what is E? Your external electric field. So therefore, conductivity, when it is possible, conductivity means whenever you give external current only, conductivity you can find. So therefore, what we can see, this is J by E. Finally, you can get E of N mu plus mu P. This is your conductivity. But what we can say in the case of intrinsic, it is very clear. For an intrinsic semiconductor, electrons is equal to holes. Therefore, we can say Ni. Already Ni is derived. What is Ni? Carrying concentration of intrinsic semiconductor, where Ni is the carrying concentration of intrinsic semiconductor. And therefore, what we can say here, the current of intrinsic semiconductor is already given. Therefore, current of intrinsic semiconductor, this is one. Then current density of intrinsic semiconductor, you are introducing current I by A. This is your value. The conductivity for intrinsic, we are very clear. This is the conductivity, but this is the conductivity of your intrinsic semiconductor. This is the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay. Now you go for extrinsic semiconductor. All these things, what we are discussing in the intrinsic semiconductor, similarly you go for the same about the extrinsic semiconductor. See, for N-type semiconductor, whenever you can say extrinsic semiconductor, it is further classified into two types. One is N-type and another one is P-type. So now we are discussing about N-type. See, for N-type semiconductor, the whole current is generated or neglected, as the holes are minority carriers. But whatever you can say, simple. In the case of N, which is major? Electrons are major. And which is minor? See, the holes are minority. So therefore, your N is equal to approximately Nd. This is what is Nd means, donor electrons. Okay. You go for next one. This is I, you are in the case of N. So I is given, but J is calculated, sigma is also calculated. In a similar way, you are calculating P also. What is P? The P-type and semiconductor, in the P, electrons are minor. So conductivity in the case of P-type semiconductor, this is the electrons and this is the current density and this is the sigma. Yeah, very clear? And you go for next one, diffusion. Whenever the current you are discussing, not only one phenomena, drift and diffusion. Whenever drift is further two types, diffusion also further two types. So diffusion means it is expansion, or we can see the diffusion. Diffusion takes place due to the existence of non-uniform concentration of charge carriers. Non-uniform means it is not uniformly distributed. That means yes, region in a one region high concentration is related. Another one is low concentration region. Therefore, what we can say, the electrons are diffused from high concentration to low concentration. This is the diffusion definition. You can say according to the Spike law, the diffusion F is directly proportional to the concentration of gradient, that is carrier concentration per unit length is greater than of the particles. So this is the definition. F is directly proportional to minus dou by dou x of delta n. This is the difference n of this your high region and your low region. So if we remove this one, that is the proportional constant, then F is equal to minus d dou by dou x of delta n, equation 1. Then what is d is a distribution constant, what is delta n is the difference of this. So therefore what we can see, similarly in the case of electrons also, therefore let delta n and delta p the excess concentration of semiconductor materials, then according to Spike law, this is your definition. And therefore if F is a directly proportional to then by electrons, then this is the F for total. And you calculate, but the current density due to the diffusion depends upon the charged particles and the rate of diffusion. Therefore, the current density J is given as the charged particles into rate of diffusion. This is the diffusion flux density due to the electrons is given. This is Jn of drift. E is equal to minus E of minus Dn dou by dou x of your difference electrons. Similarly, you are removing this one, what you multiplied, you can get this equation 5. And then what the diffusion flux density due to the holes is given. Similarly, your electrons, how you can define, similarly holes are defined. So finally you can get this total diffusion by your electrons and your holes. Okay, this equation 7 explains what? The total diffusion by electrons and holes. Okay, note it. What is the important note? It is means the total current density due to the existing excess of electrons is the sum of the densities. So this is your drift for electron only, very clear. The total current by electron is your drift electron and your diffusion electron. So your drift electron and this is your diffusion, not this is not drift, this is diffusion. Okay, see, and therefore similarly you go for your holes. Jp is equal to, this is your drift electron current and this is your diffusion. You are very clear about it. Then Einstein coefficient is not your syllabus, of course you are neglecting one, and very important, Hall coefficient. Simple and last topic. What is this is very important. Simply see the diagram. If this is a cubic material of your semiconductor, if we give in a one direction current simultaneously in another direction, that means you are a perpendicular direction, magnetic field will form, and between these two perpendicular direction, in that direction you can get the voltage difference in a semiconductor. That is observed by Hall. So therefore Hall effect is very important and simple. Hall effect is what? See the definition. When a current carrying semiconductor is placed in magnetic field, then the potential difference voltage or the electric field, it is developed the material perpendicular to both electric and applied magnetic field. This effect is known as Hall effect. Wonderful. Just what you can observe, If you could put it a material in external magnetic field or your external electric field, then voltage is developed in the top of the material. So this is the diagram. Then you can find it here, the mobility of the charge. See, therefore the force due to the potential force, this is the force of by electrons, this is the force of magnetic, the forces are equal, then you can get the EH, the BVD equation number 1. And you can clarify for this one for what we can say for N type and for P type C. This is your okay. Then for N types, if this is what J is equal to your current density, so minus NEVD, and VD is equal to, this is J by N. By substituting equation 2 in equation 1, you can get EH. Similarly, where RH is, what is the relation RH? RH is equal to 1 by NE. This is all coefficient you can say. See, now already N type we are discussing. Now same phenomena in according to P type means holes according to holes. That is VD is equal to J by PE. And substituting equation 2 in 1, then we can get this. In the case of P type metal, that is RH is equal to 1 by P. This is Hall coefficient. Okay, this is the Hall coefficient in the case of electron. This is the Hall coefficient in the case of force. Okay, Hall coefficient you can define. This is VH is a Hall voltage. By substituting the equation 3, 4, then we can get this one. And you can, what is the sample area? This is area. A current density J is equal to I by A, you know. By substituting equation 8, and we can get this one. All these things are very simple. So RH is equal to VH by W of I. By substituting all these things, then the relation between Hall coefficient and voltage is given. And now the electrical conductivity in a semiconductor you want to know. So sigma is the your conductivity. So sigma is equal to Ne mu, and mu is equal to sigma by Ne. And then this is the mobility. So you can define mobility of the charge carriers and the conductivity of charge current. The Hall coefficient you are defined, Hall voltage you are defined by your Hall effect only. From the diagram you can derive 4 parameters. Okay. Now this is very important. So this is the ending session. The applications are there in the semiconductors. Okay, see some of the applications we are mentioned here. It is used to determine whether the material is P type or N type semiconductor. If RH is negative, then the material is negative. If RH is positive, then the material is positive. So that is the applications of your Hall effect. Okay. So this is very important, and thank you for listening. Thank you one and all.